Good afternoon, this is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called Golden Arrows by Razor. This is a puzzle that came through my queue. This was a recommendation and Razor gave permission, so yay. The weird thing about this puzzle is this needed a major cosmetic reset because this puzzle came with the golden lines and the arrows in this were the same thickness, and the golden lines, if you showed arrows above the lines, then you could see where the arrows were, but you couldn't always see where the lines were because the arrows and the lines ended in the same place. And if you showed the lines above the arrows, some of the arrows were hidden, and you could kind of guess where the arrows went by the fact that the heads kind of popped out from behind. So what I've done is I've done a cosmetic reset on this puzzle. I've made the golden lines a little bit thicker. I've made them not fully opaque so that there's a little bit of dissemination and you can kind of see where things are. Now, this puzzle was tricky to set, and Razor, I believe, is a new setter, so a little bit of forgiveness there. But I see this all the time from setters where they don't put much effort into how their puzzle is going to be taken by solvers. And if I see a puzzle where a setter has put almost no effort into how the puzzle is going to be presented, it's a bit weird to me because, as I said, I'm not blaming Razor here. This was by no means an egregious one, but it did require some work, and even then, I don't think this is a perfect puzzle. Oh, doing lines overlapping with things where the lines don't fully overlap and everything is always tricky. But I see puzzles where people will just say, "I've made my puzzle. That's it. I'm done," and they don't think about the presentation. And it makes me think of if you were given a novel and the novel was literally just printed sheets of paper with a staple in the corner, or you were given, or a book or a textbook or anything, and it was literally just sheets of paper with the staple on it, or you were given something like this, which was, a hardbound book with graphics or anything, and the contents were the same, which would you prefer? And you'd kind of prefer one with the proper binding and a good quality, and it's a nice experience because experience matters. It's not just the content. And it's the same with puzzles. If you're having to struggle with the aesthetics of the puzzle or understanding the rules or anything, most of the comments I get that are negative about puzzles aren't about the puzzles. They're just like, I didn't understand the rule, or I had trouble seeing this, or I had trouble understanding which way this went. Putting some effort into your puzzles. As I said, I'm not picking on Razor here. This puzzle would have been a nightmare to do, and I've come up with something I think is an okay solution, but not great. But yeah, it's just weird to me how that it just doesn't happen. The other one was that all of these arrows, like for example, this line here, the arrow head was completely opaque. So you couldn't see this line at all. All you could see was this line sticking out from beneath. And it was a little bit weird. If you weren't showing lines, if you were showing arrows above lines, it literally just looked like this line went into here, because there's a setting in Sudoku Pad where you show arrows above lines or on or off. And if you had arrows above lines, the golden line here was completely invisible. Yeah, so, and as I think was this line here was completely invisible, as was this one. I think the one down here, you didn't know that it was there. So just all sorts of issues. And I think this one was the same. So all sorts of issues. And that's, again, not on Razor. Think about the way your puzzles are presented. Let's have a look at golden arrows, because I've heard this is good. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Digits on a gold Nabner line must not contain any consecutive pairs, whatever their position on the line. So if I'm going to use this one as an example, if we were to put, say, a 2 here, it would mean we cannot put a 1 or a 3 anywhere on the line. So if we put a 3 here, this line is now broken because these digits are consecutive and on the same line. Doesn't matter where on the line, but you cannot put any 2 consecutive digits on the same line. Hi, this is BremSter, and I'm just jumping into the rules description. During the solve of this puzzle, I got very confused because at no point during in the rules does it say that digits cannot repeat on a line, and this puzzle is not unique without that rule. So I did some digging into the history of Nabner lines, and the first ever Nabner line puzzle was called Nabner by Zetamath, and that was published to Logic Masters Germany, and that puzzle did clearly state that digits cannot repeat on lines. So that has become the assumption of Nabner puzzles. Now, many of the Nabner puzzles since then have not had that rule in them, but all the Nabner lines have been contained to a single box or a row or a column. This puzzle does not have that in all cases, and it doesn't state that digits cannot repeat on lines, but it needs to. So I'm going to update the rules above, and the link in the description will have the correct rules, and the puzzle that I link to will have the correct rules. But just be aware that what I get very confused during the solve of this video, because the rules as I have them when I'm solving it do not state that. So if you are solving this puzzle, please be aware that's why things happened. I had to do the research after the solve. So back to past BremSter. Digits placed on an arrow must sum to the digit placed in that arrow's circle. So the sum of those two digits will go there. The sum of those two digits will go there. And the same is true on all of the arrows. Cells separated by an X must sum to 10. Cells separated by a V must sum to 5. Not all X's and V's are necessarily given. Cells separated by a white dot must be consecutive. Not all white dots or not all dots are necessarily given. That's it. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Now, I would normally start with arrows, and this one is screaming at me, but I'm actually going to start with the Nabner line, because I think this is going to be the logic that's hardest for me to explain. A 5-cell Nabner line is completely forced, because I don't think you can repeat digits on a Nabner line. You can't on this one anyway, but you cannot repeat digits on this Nabner line. And if I start with 1, I can't put a 2. I know this is going to be all the odd digits, because starting with 1, I skip 2. The next digit is 3, which skips 4. The next digit is 5, which skips 6. The next digit is 7, which skips 8. And then the next digit is 9. So if I'm going to get 5 digits, none of which are consecutive, they have to be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. The minute I put an even digit on the line, I'm not going to be able to complete it. Because if I do a 2, the next digit is 4, the next digit is 6, the next digit is 8, and then I've got no 5th digit. These have to be 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, meaning these are 2, 4, 6, 8, and I am going to over pencil mark that. Now, this is a V clue, so this can't be a 5, a 7, or a 9. If this is a 1, this is a 4. If this is a 3, this is a 2. So I know what that is. However, this arrow is incredibly restricted, because this would normally be 6, 7, 8, 9 because of 3 cells see each other, except there's an extra cell. So this can't be a 6, except I don't think it actually could be a 7 if both of those are 1. So if this is 3, 2, and those are both 1, this could be a 7. So I'm not sure, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure. But there has to be a 1 in one of those two cells. Because if there's no 1 in those two cells, then if that's a 1, if there's no 1 in those two cells, I'm broken. Because if there's no 1 in those two cells, I'm broken. Yeah, because this has a maximum of 8, with that being 1. This now has a minimum of 6. So this is 1, 2, or 3. Because this could be 5, 1, 3, and this could be 9. Now, let's look at these. So this is 3 digits that are not consecutive. So the minimum they could be are 1, 3, and 5. They're the absolute minimum they could be, because once I put a 1 on the line, the next minimum is 3, because I can't make any of them consecutive. Then the next minimum is 5. 1, 3, 5 actually sums to 9, so that becomes forced. These are 3 non-consecutive digits that sum to 9. They have to be 1, 3, 5, because the only digits you could use 1, 2, 6, the 1 and 2 are consecutive. 2, 3, 4, they're all consecutive. Well, the 2 and the 4 aren't, but the 3 is causing a problem. And 1, 3, 5, which gets me to 9. So this here is 7, 8, or 9, and it's not 9 because it can't be a 6. It can't be consecutive with either any of these. And I actually, can it repeat? I'm pretty certain it can't. I'm going to... Sorry, I just checked the original because I'd reset the rules. And it just says gold Nabner lines can... The original rules were gold Nabner lines may not contain consecutive digits. And I'm not a fan of that wording because I've had people come back to me and say, well, using my example again, 2, 3. Those digits aren't consecutive because consecutive means adjacent, and those digits aren't adjacent. So what does that mean? I mean, theoretically, here for me adding to whatever their position on the line, but it doesn't say anything on Nabner lines about digits not being able to repeat, because a 1 isn't consecutive to 1. So I could put 1 there and there, for example. So I'm not sure. So I would think that's 7 or 8, but I'm not sure that it's 7 or 8. So this can't be 1, 2. It can't be 2, 3, because if it's 2... Oh, hang on. This is cool. This is 2 consecutive dots that adds to something. So they must be an odd... It must sum to an odd number because it's going to be an even and an odd, and an even and odd sums to an odd number. So it's 3, 5, 7, 9 because I can't make 2 digits sum to 1. Now, if this is 3, this is 1, 2, but I can't use 1. So it can't be that. Now, if this is 5, this is 2, 3. If it's 7, it's 3, 4. And if it's 9, it's 4, 5. Right, that's fine. Except I don't think I can make this 2, 3. Because then there's no fill for this. Because if this is 2, 3... Oh, hang on. No, there can be. This would be 1, 4. But if this is 1, 4 and this is 2, 3, that's 5. And this line's already hit 10. So there's no 2 on this. So there is a 4 on this. This is the 2. This is the 3. There's no 3 here. This is the 1 because I needed to have a 1 on this line. Otherwise, I blow the total. This is 6... plus 1 or 2, so this is 7 or 8 only. There's no 3 down here. This is 4, 5, which means this is a 9. There's no 2 or 4 there. There's no 1, 3, or 5 there. This is a 7 or a 9. There's no 3 on this line at all. This is 6, 7, or 8. No, that's wrong. That is completely wrong. Yes, no, it's right. 6, 7, or 8. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the 9 in the column because I can't put the 9 there because the 9 is on the line. Can't put 9 there because this can't sum to 9 or that would have to be a 3. And I can't put 9 in there because this doesn't sum to 9. I can't put 9 there because there's a 9 in the box. So that's the 9, and 9 comes out of all of those. So now 9 is in one of these two. I can put 9 on a Nabner line. Well, there's no 1 there. So this is the 3, 5. This is the 1, which means this is the 2, which means this now sums to 8. Now this is on... This can't be adjacent to 1. So it can't be 2. It could be 1 though. I need clarification on the Nabner line, just in general, for the general rule of how Nabner lines work. Can digits repeat on a Nabner line? Because I've never seen that actually stated anywhere. Now, There's no 8. Well, this becomes 6. This becomes 7. So 7, it can't be 1, 6 because there's a line under all of this, and the 6 would be consecutive with the 7. 2, 5 is possible. 3, 4 is not possible because 3, 4 would be consecutive with each other. So this is 2, 4, 2, 5. There's no 5 here. This is 1, 3. This is the 5. And I made a mistake on this arrow, because I could make a 9 arrow by repeating those 2 digits. Now, I didn't use that for any of this. So this is 2, 5. But what could this be? Like, could I do 1, 1, 7? Yes, I could. No, I can't. I can't do 1, 1, 7 because that's not available. I can't do 2, 2, and 3, 3 would need another 3. So these can't contain repeat digits now. So 1, 1 would need 7. 2, 2 would need 5, and I can't put a 5 there either. And 3, 3 would need another 3, and that's all sorts of impossible. 4, 4, 1. Actually, it could be 4, 4, 1. So this is 1, 3, 5, or these are also possibly 4. Because 4, 4, 4 and 1 are not consecutive, and 4 is not consecutive with itself. But there is a 1 on this line, so that can't be a 2. It can't be 1, 2, 3. There's a 3, or this. If there's a 4 on this line, there's a 4 there, so this can't be a 4. Because if there's no 4 on this line, then it's 1, 3, 5, and this can't be a 4. It can't be a 5, so it's 6, 7, or 8 only. And it could be a 6 if this is 4, 4, 1. Five. Oh, wait a minute. There's no 5 on this. So this is 1, 3, 4. If this is a 5, this is a 1, 3 pair. But 4, 4, 1 is still possible. So this doesn't have 1 or 2 on it. 3, 5, 7. Hang on. These can't be 1, 2, 9, 7, 5. Ooh, hang on. This line is under some pressure because I'm only working from 3 to 9. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no 8. Now, if I don't put a 9 on this line, which couldn't go there anyway, if I don't put a 9 on this line, this is 3, 5, 7. If there's no 9 on this line, the only digits I'm working with are 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And the only way I'm not consecutive with those is 3, 5, 7. But I can't put 3, 5, 7 on this line because one of those digits would have to be from 3 and 5, and I can't do it. So there has to be a 9 on this line, and it has to be there. That's interesting. Now there's no 3, 5 there. So this is from 4, 6, 7. So one of them has to be 4. Because I can't just make them 6, 7. There's no 6 on those, but I'm not sure that's helping me at all. One is down. This is a V clue without a 2 on it. This is a 1, 4. So this is a 3. So this is a 1. These sum to 4. So this is a 5. That's what I needed to use, this V clue. I wasn't paying attention. So this now can't be a 6, but now it is 7 or 8. So that did get proved, but... So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. These can't be consecutive. There's no 9 there. Well, the 1, 4 makes this 5 and this 4. This is an X clue. It can't be 1, 9. It's all I really know. What do I know about that arrow, I suppose? Not much. Well, I know it's got a 1 on it. That's actually really cool, because if I don't put a 1 on it, because I don't have a 2 or a 3, this is 4, 5. And if this is 4, 5, it would be consecutive, but 4, 5 is the minimum I could make it to make this 9, and it can't even be 9. So there is a 1 on this arrow. So there's no 1 there, and this is a 1, which means there's a 1 in one of those two. Yeehaw. Okay. But there is a 1 on this. Now, it's not 1, 2, 1, 3. 1, 4 would make this 5, so that doesn't work. 1, 5 doesn't work. 1, 6 would make this 7. 1, 7 doesn't work. 1, 8 would make this 9, and that doesn't work. This is 1, 6, 7. That's cool. So this is the 8. And I know what this triple is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 8, 9. Well, there's no 9 there. There's no 8 there. And that's a 4, 8, 9 triple. That's got to have an impact on this. But more importantly, that's had an impact on this. This is not 1, 9 or 3, 7. So it's 2, 8 or 4, 6. What did I just do? 2, 8 or 4, 6. That's not a 4, so that's not a 6. That's not a 4, so that's not a 6. This is a 2, 8, which means that's a 4, that's a 9, that's an 8. So this is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 3, 6 pair, and this 6 makes this the 3 and this the 6. Now, 2 can't be on this line, so 2 is up here now, taking 2 out of both of those and making that a 2. That's cool. This is a 1, 2 pair, because the 1 and the 2 now have to be here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 5, 7 are not consecutive. That's cool. So this is now a known triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 8 and 9 can't be on the line together. So there's a 4 there, there's no 4 there, and it's 4 with either 8 or 9. Now, the question is, where is 4? Oh, let's use this 2 to make this 5 and this 2. But the question I want to ask myself is, where is 4 in this column? Because I can't put 4 there because 4 is on this line, and I can't put 4 there because 4 is on the V clue. So 4 is in one of those. So 4 is in one of those two, but we know 4 has to be here. Otherwise, this is 6, 7, which is consecutive. So that's not 4, and that's the 4. Right. There's a 3 up in one of those two. Actually, I know what this triple is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 3, 5, 7. There's no 5 there. There's no 3 there. Well, actually, this 3 made this 5 and this 3. I find these heavy lines, I couldn't think of a better way of doing it. They're hard to read pencil marks on. But anyway, 3, 5 makes that 7, which takes 7 out of those, which makes that the 3 and that the 5. Very cool. Very cool. I've got to put a 2 in this row. I can't put a 2 on this line because there's 1 in the box. I can't put a 2 there. So this is a 2. So this is from 4, 6, or 7. And it doesn't have a 4, of course, because the 4 is over here. 2 is in one of those two, and it's not there. That's not the 2. This is the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are from 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, 7 is in one of those two. 9 is in one of those two. That's not 9 because of that. Yeah, 9 is in one of those two. There's no 7 here. This is very cool. Don't think I've been particularly efficient at this puzzle. 9 is in, 9 in this row. Can't put it here, it's in the box. Can't put it there because of that 9. This is a 9. This put more pressure on this line because I'm now only working from 3 to 7. So I need 3 non-consecutive digits from 3 to 7 because I can't use 1, 2, and I can't use 8, 9. So these are 3, 5, and 7. 3, 5, and 7. For the same reason, this had to be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Because if I use anything other than 3, 5, and 7, which are now my extreme digits, I'm going to run out of non-consecutive digits. So 1, 2, 3, these are 4 and 6. This is a 3, 5, 7 triple. So 3 is down here. This is not the 3. The 5 here takes 5 out of there. Oh, the 1, 4 makes that the 6 and that the 4. This is not a 6 anymore. 3 is in here. Oh, this 2 looks up. I'm scanning terribly, but that's okay. I'm fascinated by the logic in this puzzle. And I can live with being fascinated by the logic in this puzzle. This is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, again, I don't know about the non-repeating. There's nothing about digits not repeating on a Nabner line in the rules, either the original puzzle or I grabbed this default rule from many other Nabner puzzles, ones that have been featured on different places. And in all the Nabner puzzles I've seen, I've never seen a rule about digits not repeating. I'm hoping, but anyway, this can't be the 1 anymore. So the 1 has to be here. This is now a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 2 and 3. This 2 looks down, making this 3 and this 2. The 3 looks across, making this 7. So this is not, wait a minute. Yeah, 3 looks across, making this 7, which makes this 5, which makes this 3. There's no 7 there, so that's the 8. I take 8 out of all of those. Now, these have to not be consecutive. So there has to be a 9 on them. Otherwise, it ends up being 6, 7. So this becomes the 6. The 6 comes out of there. This becomes a 7, 9. The 6 looks up, making this the 1 and this the 6. The 1 looks down, making this 4 and this 1. Beautiful flow. The 4 looks up, taking 4 out of there. So this becomes the 4. This column is now just missing 8 and 9. This 7 looks up, making this 5 and this 7. I'm jumping all over the place, and people hate it when I do that, but tough. This 2 looks across, making this 8 and this 2. This 8 looks up, making that 9 and that 8. The 9 looks down, making that 7 and that 9. The 7 looks up, making that 6, which takes 6 out of both of those. That's a 4, 7 pair now. So this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 5, 6. There's no 3 there. There's no 5 there. If it comes down to this, I'm going to use it, but I don't know for sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7, 8, 9, but there's no 7 at the top. So that's an 8, 9 pair. That's a 7. Oh, the 8 makes that 9, which makes that 8. I'm good so far. So this row is missing 1, 3, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 3, 6. There's no 1 or 3 here. This is the 6. So that jumps all the way over here, making this the 3, which jumps back, making this the 1. The 3 takes 3 out of there. This is a 5, 6 pair. Not seeing it yet. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'll use that 3 to make that 4 and that 3. Now, these are completely and utterly... I've got 2 9s in the column. I've got 2 2s in the column. I've got 2 1s in the columns. I've got 2 3s in the column. There's no arrows to disambiguate it. There's no dots to disambiguate it. The only thing I've got that can disambiguate this at all is 8 not being able to repeat on the line. But 8 is not consecutive with 8. So I've got 6s lining up, I've got 8s lining up, I've got 4s lining up, I've got 5s lining up. I'm going to try this with being 6. 6, 8, 5, 6, 7, 5. 7 makes this 4 and 7, which looks like making this 8 and 4. And that is the correct solution. So I'm going to... for this puzzle, I don't know if I'm going to correct in the rules. I'm going to do some research. I may edit at the start and I may do a thing at the beginning, but I'm going to check with some rules experts on the default rules of Nabner lines. I may update this puzzle again to include that in the rules, but as provided by the original setter, and as provided in several puzzles using Nabner lines that I have grabbed, including some of the original ones that I found that have been covered in other places, including on my channel, there was nothing about digits on Nabner lines not being able to repeat. So we will see what happens. Thank you everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.